For more than a decade, Kaley Cuoco, better known to millions as Penny from The Big Bang Theory, lit up television screens with her charm, humor, and warmth. She was the heart of the show, the girl next door who balanced the genius chaos of Sheldon, Leonard, and the rest of the gang. To fans, she was more than a character. She was the reason many fell in love with the sitcom in the first place. But behind the laughter, the fame, and the perfectly rehearsed punchlines, Kaley Cuoco's life hasn't been nearly as picture-perfect as it seemed. Fame brought her unimaginable success, but also pressure, heartbreak, and pain that few people truly know about. From her difficult relationships to career struggles after The Big Bang Theory ended, and even emotional battles she quietly faced behind closed doors, Kaley's journey has been both inspiring and deeply tragic. Today, at a point in her life where the world assumes she has it all, Kaley Cuoco's story tells a different truth, one filled with silent suffering, resilience, and a longing for normalcy in a world that constantly judges her every move. This is the heartbreaking reality of the woman the world still remembers as Penny, the beloved actress whose off-screen life became a roller coaster of fame, heartbreak, and the desperate search for happiness. Long before she became the lovable Penny on The Big Bang Theory, Kaley Cuoco was just a small-town California girl with big dreams and relentless determination. Born in Camarillo, California in 1985, Kaley showed early promise not just in acting, but in sports. She was a nationally ranked tennis player before she ever stepped onto a Hollywood set. But even as a young girl, her heart was drawn to the stage, and by the time she was 6, she was appearing in commercials and small television roles. Her first big break came in 2002 when she joined the cast of the hit sitcom 8 Simple Rules alongside John Ritter. For the first time, audiences began to notice her natural comedic timing and bubbly personality. She wasn't just another pretty face on screen, she had an undeniable spark. When Ritter tragically passed away during the show's run, it deeply affected her. Kaley later admitted that his kindness and humor shaped how she treated everyone on set for the rest of her career. But nothing could have prepared her for what came next. In 2007, a new CBS sitcom called The Big Bang Theory was looking for a girl next door to balance out its cast of socially awkward geniuses. When Kaley auditioned for Penny, she instantly won everyone over. Chuck Lorre, the show's creator, later said, "The moment Kaley walked in, we knew we found our Penny." The chemistry between Kaley and her co-stars, especially Johnny Galecki and Jim Parsons, became the foundation of the show's success. Penny wasn't a scientist, but she brought heart, humor, and humanity to a world of physics and comic books. Her character made audiences laugh, but more importantly, she made them care. By the show's 3rd season, Kaley Cuoco was one of television's biggest stars. Her comedic timing, natural charm, and relatability turned her into a household name. Fans loved her journey from a struggling waitress to a confident, independent woman. And off-screen, Kaley was just as beloved, always smiling, always gracious, the perfect embodiment of the American TV sweetheart. But fame, as she would later reveal, came with a price. While The Big Bang Theory became one of the most successful sitcoms in TV history, earning over $1 billion in syndication, Kaley's personal life began to feel the pressure of public scrutiny. Every interview, every relationship, every hairstyle became headline news. "I didn't realize how much my life would stop being mine," she once admitted. Still, Kaley gave everything she had to Penny. For 12 seasons, she grew alongside her character, and her performance earned her critical acclaim, several awards, and a staggering $1 million per episode by the show's final seasons, making her one of the highest-paid actresses in television history. But even with all the money, fame, and recognition, there were cracks beginning to show beneath the surface. By the time The Big Bang Theory came to an emotional end in 2019, Kaley wasn't just saying goodbye to a character, she was closing a chapter of her own life. She later described the final day of filming as one of the hardest days of her career. "I couldn't stop crying," she said. "It felt like losing a part of myself." Behind the laughter and applause, Kaylee Cuoco's story was entering a darker phase, one filled with heartbreak, mental struggles, and the painful realization that fame doesn't guarantee happiness. The world knew her as Penny, the cheerful next-door neighbor who made everyone smile. But when the cameras stopped rolling, Kaylee was left to face a reality that was far more complicated and far more human. While Kaylee Cuoco was making millions of people laugh every week as Penny, off-screen, her life was far from the picture-perfect sitcom she portrayed. The woman who always seemed to radiate confidence and joy was quietly fighting emotional battles that few ever saw. Behind that bright smile was heartbreak, exhaustion, and the crushing weight of expectations that fame had placed on her shoulders. At first glance, Kaylee seemed to be living the dream, a successful actress, adored by fans, earning millions, and constantly appearing on red carpets with her signature grin. But behind closed doors, her personal life was unraveling. Her relationship with co-star Johnny Galecki, which began secretly during the early seasons of The Big Bang Theory, ended in quiet heartbreak. They kept their romance private, but when it ended after nearly 2 years, Kaylee admitted that filming with him afterward was emotionally difficult. "We loved each other deeply," she said, "but we realized we couldn't make it work off screen." After that breakup, Kaylee threw herself into work, smiling for cameras, attending award shows and pretending everything was fine. But fame has a way of amplifying pain. The tabloids followed her every move, often speculating about her love life or appearance. "People forget that behind those headlines is a real person," she once said tearfully. In 2013, she married professional tennis player Ryan Sweeting after a whirlwind romance. To the public, it looked like a fairy tale, the beautiful actress and the charming athlete. But within 2 years, that fairy tale had crumbled. Their sudden divorce shocked fans and devastated Kaylee. "I honestly thought I wouldn't recover," she later admitted. "I lost myself completely in that relationship." The end of her marriage sent her spiraling into depression and anxiety. She began therapy and took time off to find herself again. During those dark years, Kaylee's smile remained for the cameras, but her eyes often told a different story. She confessed to crying between takes, feeling emotionally drained, and struggling with loneliness even while surrounded by people. "It's hard when the world thinks you're so happy, but inside you're falling apart," she revealed. Still, she refused to let heartbreak define her. Slowly, she began rebuilding her life. In 2016, she met Carl Cook, an equestrian and the son of a billionaire entrepreneur. They connected through their love of horses and a shared desire for privacy. For the first time in years, Kaylee seemed truly content. "He understands me in a way no one ever has," she said at the time. They married in 2018, and for a while, everything seemed perfect again. But once again, the illusion of perfection faded. By 2021, Kaylee announced that she and Carl were separating, explaining that they had grown apart. "There was no anger, no bitterness," she said. "It just didn't work." Yet the heartbreak hit her harder than anyone realized. She later confessed in an interview, "I didn't want to be alive for a while. It was the darkest time of my life." Through therapy, close friends, and sheer resilience, Kaylee began to heal. She poured her energy into her work, producing and starring in HBO's The Flight Attendant, a project that mirrored her own struggles with trauma and recovery. The series earned her Emmy nominations and praise for her raw, emotional performance. "It saved me," she said. "It reminded me that I'm stronger than I thought." Kaylee Cuoco had spent years pretending to be okay, but now she was finally embracing the truth. Her pain had shaped her, but it didn't define her. Behind that smile was a survivor, someone who had fallen apart and slowly learned how to put herself back together again. After years of public heartbreak and emotional struggle, Kaylee Cuoco found herself standing at a crossroads. She had fame, fortune, and success, but her personal life had been a storm of disappointment and pain. By the time her marriage to Carl Cook ended in 2021, Kaylee was emotionally exhausted. But this time, something was different. She wasn't looking to fill the emptiness with another relationship or distraction. Instead, She made a quiet vow to heal from within and truly discover who she was beyond Penny or the perfect Hollywood image everyone expected her to be. "I had to learn how to be alone," Kaylee said in an interview. "For so long I thought love was about finding someone else to make me happy. But real love starts when you learn to love yourself." That revelation marked the beginning of a new chapter, one focused on self-growth, balance, and inner peace. Kaylee began immersing herself in projects that genuinely inspired her. Her passion project, The Flight Attendant, became a mirror of her transformation. Playing Cassie Bowden, a woman battling addiction, guilt, and trauma, allowed Kaylee to channel her own pain into art. The show's success not only redefined her career but also gave her a powerful sense of purpose. "It was the first time I didn't care about being pretty or funny," she said. "I just wanted to be real." Behind the camera, Kaylee also found new strength as a producer, founding her own company, Yes, Norman Productions. She took control of her career, hand-picking roles that reflected her maturity and depth. No longer boxed in as the sitcom girl, Kaylee was now a respected Hollywood powerhouse, creative, driven, and fearless. But the biggest change in her life wasn't professional. It was personal. Kaylee started focusing on her mental health and well-being. Therapy became a regular part of her life, and she spoke openly about the importance of discussing anxiety and depression. "I want people to know it's okay to not be okay," she shared, "even when your life looks perfect from the outside." Then, in 2022, something unexpected happened. She met actor Tom Pelphrey. Unlike her past relationships, this one wasn't built on Hollywood glamour or pressure. It was simple, genuine, and healing. "It was love at first sight," she said with a smile. For the first time in years, Kaylee felt safe, not just in love, but in herself. Together, they welcomed their daughter Matilda in 2023, an experience that completely transformed her. "Becoming a mom changed everything," Kaylee said. "It gave me perspective. It grounded me. And it healed parts of me I didn't even know were still broken." Those close to her noticed the change immediately. Kaylee wasn't chasing happiness anymore. She was living it. She learned to slow down, spend time with her horses, enjoy quiet mornings, and cherish the small, ordinary moments that fame often takes away. "I've finally found peace," she said softly in a 2024 interview. "Not perfect happiness, but peace. And that's enough." Still, Kaylee has never forgotten the struggles that shaped her. She continues to advocate for mental health awareness, animal welfare, and women's empowerment in the entertainment industry. Her honesty about failure, heartbreak, and healing has inspired millions of fans who once only saw her as Penny, the funny girl next door. Now, when fans see Kaley Cuoco, they don't just see the sitcom star or the glamorous celebrity. They see a survivor. A woman who faced heartbreak, loneliness, and depression, yet found her way back to joy through strength, self-awareness, and unconditional love for her daughter. As she once said, "My story isn't perfect, but it's real, and that's what makes it beautiful." After years in the spotlight, Kaley Cuoco has learned that fame is a double-edged sword. While millions around the world have loved her, as Penny from The Big Bang Theory, few truly understand the pressures and struggles that come with being a public figure. The laughter, the red carpets, and the award shows can mask the emotional toll of living life under constant scrutiny. And for Kaley, those pressures were compounded by personal heartbreak, career uncertainty, and the constant expectation to be perfect, a burden that nearly broke her. Kaley often reflects on the early years of her career, when she was just a teenager trying to navigate Hollywood. She was told to smile, to stay cheerful, to be likable, and to maintain a squeaky clean image. "It felt like I was being molded into someone I wasn't," she admitted. "I lost parts of myself trying to fit the mold, trying to meet everyone else's expectations." The pressure of being constantly judged by tabloids, fans, and critics alike added layers of stress she didn't always know how to handle. The end of the Big Bang Theory in 2019 was both liberating and terrifying. On one hand, Kaylee finally had control over her schedule and career choices. On the other, the world that had known her solely as Penny no longer had a label for her. She was free, but vulnerable. She experienced doubt. Could she redefine herself? Could she find meaningful work outside the role that made her a household name? Her personal life added another layer of complexity. Heartbreak after heartbreak, from failed relationships to divorce, often played out under public scrutiny. Fans assumed everything was glamorous, but behind the smiles and Instagram posts, she battled depression and loneliness. Kaylee has since emphasized the importance of mental health, explaining that therapy and self-reflection have been crucial to her recovery. "I want fans to know that it's okay to struggle," she said. "Fame doesn't protect you from life's hardest moments." Professionally, Kaylee has used her experiences to take creative control. Through her production company, Yes, Norman Productions, she has developed projects that reflect her real voice and vision. The flight attendant became a turning point, a role that allowed her to show vulnerability, depth, and strength all at once. It reminded fans and critics alike that Kaley Cuoco is more than Penny. She is a multifaceted actress capable of dramatic, comedic, and emotionally complex performances. Motherhood, too, has reshaped her perspective. Her daughter Matilda brought her a profound sense of purpose and joy that fame never could. "Becoming a mom has made me more grounded than anything else in my life," she said. "It reminded me of what truly matters: love, family, and self-respect." Kaylee now shares openly about the lessons she's learned, that self-worth cannot come from others' opinions, that vulnerability is strength, and that happiness isn't about perfection, but about authenticity. She has become a role model for young women in Hollywood, proving that it's possible to endure heartbreak, overcome mental health struggles, and still build a fulfilling, meaningful life. Ultimately, the truth about fame, the lesson Kaylee wants everyone to understand, is that it can amplify both joy and pain. It can make ordinary moments extraordinary, but it can also intensify struggles. What matters most, she insists, is maintaining authenticity, nurturing relationships, and prioritizing mental health. Fame is fleeting, but self-love and resilience last a lifetime. Today, Kaley Cuoco stands not only as a celebrated actress, but also as a survivor. She has transformed heartbreak into growth, pressure into purpose, and public scrutiny into advocacy. Fans may remember her as Penny, the girl next door, but those who follow her story closely now see her as a woman of courage, honesty, and indomitable spirit, a true testament to the human ability to rebuild, heal, and thrive even in the face of life's most heartbreaking moments.